Hey, hi everyone. Very good evening to all of you guys. Let's wait a couple of more minutes and then we will start. Okay, guys, a very warm welcome to all of you. Now, today we are going to start. This is our last topic, and that is going to be the strings. Learning new Cobra. I have Mukunda. Can you please turn off your mic? So, if you guys remember that that time I have mentioned that this is something that is needs to be memorized, and it should not be the something which is very logical or analytical. Okay, so that's why I kept it for the last. Okay, So let's start this particular topic. So we know that there is a one data type which is called as a string. Okay, so a lot of data, a lot of text related data we already have in the whole world, and we need to process it. We need to work with it, right? So how to deal with it, and what are the operation that you can actually apply on the string data that we are going to learn today. Okay. So for example, here I'm printing a one message. Let's call it as it is a beautiful day. Okay. So here I'm printing and we are able to do that. Okay. Simple as that. Now, if I want to print this message, it's a beautiful day. Okay. So Python is able to print it. I have a quotes, single quotes, and it is able to print whatever is in between the quotes, right? So it is a beautiful day. Now here I'm printing, it's a beautiful day. Now if I'm going to run this, let's see what will happen. Now here there is a problem. What is the problem? So Python is saying, hey, this is a unterminated string literal. Unterminated, and it is also marking, means this is something which is started and did not terminate it, but I started over here and terminated over here. So why it is an error? So the problem over here is that I used a quotes, okay, in my message itself. So for Python, you started the quotes over here and you ended the quote over here. Python is not considering that, hey, you are writing it's, okay. Python is not considering it. It only consider that, okay, I got a quote here and I got a quote here. So it means that you want to print it, and then you have written something and then you again started a quote. So Python is expecting, hey, can you please terminate this quote, because quote should always be in a pair. So now that is a problem. If I want to print, it's a beautiful day. So would I not be able to do that? Answer is no. We will be able to do that. But for that, what we are going to use for it, it is require a escape character. Okay. What is this escape character? So escape character is this backslash. Okay. What is this backslash? So this backslash actually works as a escape character, and it is telling Python, hey, whenever you identify me, okay, just escape whatever written after me. Okay. So Python is escaping this particular code as a Python command, and it will consider it as a message. Okay. So now here you can see that now I'm able to print it's a beautiful day. Okay. There is one more way of workaround over here is that you can use a double quotes. You want to print it's a beautiful day. Okay. So what you can do, you can use a double quote over here, like in this message. If I just start with a double quote and I end with a double quote, if you run it, then it will print it. There is no need of putting what we call escape character, because instead of single quote, I'm just using a double quotes to use it. But now for an example, if you want to print a sentence which is containing both single quotes and a double quotes, for example, this sentence I want to print. It's a beautiful day, but beautiful should be in a double quotes. It's a proper English. Okay. I want a message where this beautiful should be in a double quote. So I'm using the combination of double quotes and a single quotes in my message itself. So there it's your, it's necessary, it's very necessary that you need to use a double quote. So sorry, escape character over here. Okay. So now if you can see over here, what I'm writing, it's a, okay, and then a beautiful day. So for a message, I use a double quotes, pair of double quotes. Now for this single quote, I'm using a escape character. Then for this double quote printing, I'm using the escape character. And for this double quote printing, I'm using this escape character. Okay. Now, if you can see over here, so what I'm getting, it's a beautiful day. So this is a combination of one or more codes inside the same message that we have. Okay. So that's about the escape character. So by using the escape character, you can actually print a couple of things. Now, so here there are some example. Now, suppose you want to print something in a new line. Okay. So for that, for example, here I'm writing, it's a beautiful day and welcome to, let's say this is for Sunstone. So we'll write it as a Sunstone course and I'm writing hello everyone. So if I just remove this and remove this. So what happens over here if I run this? So here I'm getting a single message, the whole message in one single line. What if I want the message to be in a multiple line? Means the first line should be this, second line should be this, and third line should be this. Okay. So for that, you can actually use the /n. Okay. What you can use? You can use the /n. So /n or \n is basically used where you are telling the Python, hey, can you go with a new line from here? So wherever you will put a /n, it will just initialize a new line. Okay. So after this message, I have put it /n. So you can see after my full stop, the message is in the next line. Then again, I have a /n, then it will be in the next line. Okay. Now, there is one more method by which you can actually write the message inside a create a string where you can write it in a multiple line. So this can be done using the pair of a triple quotes instead of a double quote. Sorry, instead of a one pair of a single quote, you are writing three triple quotes and then a three triple quotes. Okay, and you can write anything in between. So for example, this is something like this. Okay. So here I have a combination of or a pair of three triple quotes. Okay. And here between this, and it is not like I'm doing anything special. It is I'm just writing 6 times triple quotes. And then you have to write your message between the three. Okay. Now, between this, you can actually write any number of line, any number of sentences without using the /n or all these stuff. Okay. So here, hello world, how are you? And all of these. Okay, let me just print the value of C. Yeah, you can see. So here Python is showing that it should be in a next line. I have a multiple line, so Python is giving /n in the output. Okay, if you write print C, print C. Okay, so if you write print C, now you can see I'm getting exactly the same format in which I have written. I have provided an indentation over here that is there and the next line and all these things. Exact same text, whatever you have got, that will be printed over here. Okay. So sometimes in the interview, the interviewer might give you a string which contains double quotes and single quotes. A lot of double quotes and single quotes. For example, if I'm going to Wikipedia, okay, and let's say I'm going to Wikipedia and I'm searching for, let's say Larry Page. Okay, so he's the founder of Google. Okay, now he asks you, hey, can you just take all this text and store it into a Python? Okay, so you can just copy it. So now if I just copy a lot of text, okay, so this much of the text I have copied. Now in this case, if you can see, or let's copy this one. Okay, smaller one. In this case, you can see there are a lot of double quotes. Okay, and somewhere we might have a single quotes as well. So let's take it from here. So you can see here we have a single quote and a lot of double quotes is present in this line. Okay. So I can copy all this. Now someone asks you, hey, can you create a Python variable out of it? A Python string variable, and then we will work on this particular data. Now the question over here is, let's call it as a ST. If you are going to use a combination of a double quotes and you paste it, there will be a problem. Why? Because the moment Python will find another double quote in the text, it will throw an error. Okay. So if you try to write it inside a, let's say, single quotes. Okay. So again, the same problem. There are so many single quote which will dominate your Python single quotes string declaration. So what you will do in this case? Now, physically, it is not possible to add escape character everywhere. So this is a small text and you can read about it and you can edit it manually. But what if you have a like millions of characters, millions of text? So there it is not possible to you to add a backslash everywhere. Okay. So in that case, what we actually do instead of this, I will just put it inside this form. Okay. And then I will paste my text. Now, if I run it, see, it ran successfully. Okay. And if I'm printing my ST over here, so you can see this is a text that we have. Okay. Since I'm just printing the ST using without print statement, so it is showing the escape character and all this, like what Python does for you. But if you just put it inside a print statement, print ST, then it will be a exactly same text what you have copied from the browser. Okay. Every single quotes, every comma, every single quotes, every double quote would be intact. Okay. So you can use this particular thing as well. Okay. Now, coming to the next part. Now, we are going to learn about the couple of predefined string methods. What is a string method? String methods or string functions are basically some predefined function which is help you to manipulate or to work with the strings. Okay. So the first method that we are going to learn is called as a string.lower. So first of all, you require a string. So I have created a string, let's say X, and I have created a string over here, let's say Python string methods. Normal message I have. And in this, I have used a combination of capital and a small letter very randomly. Okay. And if you can see, this is how my original text looks like. Now, if someone asks, hey, I just want to convert all the text into the lowercase. Okay. So for that, we have a function called dot lower. So you have to write your variable name and dot lower. And then after that, you have to call the function using the brackets. Okay. So I'm printing x dot lower. Okay. So if I run this, you can see that whatever is the text, whatever is the, whether it is capital letter or it is a small letter, okay, it is converted into a lowercase. Let's suppose I want to convert everything in the uppercase. Sometimes you are filling a form, okay, and you are writing your name or all these stuff. Then by default, your caps lock is not on, but still, when you enter the data, it will take the input into a capital letter. Okay. So that's how it is possible. str.upper. So I have a string and then dot upper. Okay. So if you can see, I'm printing x dot upper. Python string methods. Okay. Now another function that I have is called as a capitalize. What does a capitalize do? So everything, every function declaration is same. Okay. It is a variable name, whatever is your string variable, and then dot, and then you have to write the function name. So capitalize is making the first letter as a capital letter and remaining is going to be a small letter. Okay. Then we have a str.title. So what title does? So whenever we are writing a title, we are making first letter capital for every word. Okay. So if you can see that in this first letter becomes capital for every word and remaining letters are small. Okay, remaining letters are small and first letter is capital everywhere. So this is called as a st dot title. Now, next one is the swap case. What does a swap case do? So swap case basically swap the cases of your message. Whatever is in the capital letter, that will become smaller, and whatever is in smaller case, that will become capital. So right now, this is my X. Python string methods where Y is capital, H is capital, and these three are capital, and this is capital. What swap case will do? So swap case will basically convert the whole string by swapping it. Okay, so now you can see whatever is the smaller case over here, it becomes capital, and whatever is the capital over here becomes smaller. Okay, so this is a swap case. Now, there is a reason why I kept this topic for the very last is that you have to memorize it. There is nothing that I can do to give this or explain you some algorithm or give you some example. No, you have to memorize it. And it is okay if you search on Google during your work. Okay, because we are not expecting, okay, in industry, we are not expecting that everyone should remember this. Okay, you can freely go on Google and search it, that how to convert string into a lowercase in Python, and it will give you and just use it. Okay, now, but knowledge is important. Okay, but you must know that these things exist. Now, next one is str where is lower. Now we have a lower, and now we have also have a is lower. What is this is lower? Okay, so is lower is a function, okay, that when every character is in lower case, then it will return true. Otherwise, it will returns false. So it basically checks. So lower, dot lower function, only the lower function is basically, just give me a second. Huh? Yeah, sorry for the disturbance, guys. Okay, so what does a lower function do? So lower function basically converts your string into a lower case. Is lower function basically checks whether whatever is the input string that you are giving, it is a lower case, okay? It is in the lower case or not. So So in this case, if you can see, when every character is in the lower case, then it will return true. Otherwise, it will return false. For example, here I'm writing x is equal to Python. So every character is in the lower case. When I'm writing x dot is lower, so it will check. So it will return a true value. Now, here you can see that y is equal to Python. Here I kept p as a capital. Okay. So in this case, it will returns false because not every character is in the lower case. Okay. Similarly, next one is upper. So is upper basically checks whether every character is in uppercase. If every character is in uppercase, then it will return true. Otherwise, it will return false. Okay. So x dot is upper, you can see it is false. Why? Because everything is in a small letter. If I'm checking for y is what? First is capital, remaining is small. So if I go is upper, then it will be a false. So here I'm writing a new string. Z is equal to Python. Everything is in the uppercase. And if I'm checking it, then it will return true. Okay. So we have a two very similar function, dot lower and dot is lower. Okay. So dot lower converts your string into the lower case. Dot is lower will check whether your string is in the lower case. So one will check and one will convert. Similarly for the upper as well. Now, at the same method, we have the is title also. So is title basically check whether the first letter is in the caps and the remaining should be in the small case. Okay. For every word, then it will return true. Otherwise, it will returns false. So here I have x is equal to Python string methods. Okay. And then if I run this, x dot is title. So it will return true. By why? Because P is capital, S is capital, M is capital, and remaining letters are small. Now, what if I change this to, let's say, capital N? Now, if I run this, so now you can see that it is giving me false. Why? Because not every word's first letter is capital. That condition is true, but remaining things are not in the smaller case. So this N that I have, it should be in a smaller case to make it as a true. Now, the couple of more function that we are going to learn next, that is a very useful functions. The next one is digit. Okay. str dot is digit. What it does, it will check whether every character that you have in your string are digits or not. If it is a digit, then it will return true. If it is not a digit, then it will return false. Now, can anyone give me an example where you can think that you can actually use is digit function, or you saw it that, okay, this particular place, this function might be implemented? Can you think of any application of it? Can you repeat the question? Yeah, sure. So I have this function is digit. Is digit function basically checks whatever is the input string. If it contains all the numbers, then it will return true. Otherwise, it will return false. So can you think of any application of it that where you can use it if you are creating something or you saw it somewhere? No? Okay. So this is, yes, calculator. Very good. Okay. Calculator, or when you are filling any form or any document and they're asking for your mobile number. Okay. So if you try to enter the some alphabets, then it is not a mobile number. Okay. Zip code or pin code. Okay. Money in denominations. Okay. That cannot be a string if it is in the denominations. Mobile number, Aadhaar ID. Okay. So these are the values that cannot be other than a number. So there they are using this is digit function. So they write a very simple code. Okay, if I can show you, for example, here I am putting a input a is equal to 1, 2, 3. So you can see that this is a string, a dot digit, and if I check whether it is a digit or not. So suppose I wanted to create a form where I am taking the input of the what we call, let me write this particular code. Okay. So now I'm taking one input. So what I will do is after taking the input, I will check if a, let's call it as a mobile. I will change this function variable name to as, let's say, mobile. Okay. So if mobile dot is digit. Okay. So this is what I will check. So if it is correct, then let's say I'm printing print thank you. Just a message because I'm getting a right mobile number. Otherwise, I can print invalid mobile number, right? Just run it. So let's say I'm entering the mobile number. So this is the mobile number and I printed. Okay, so it is Python is checking. Okay, whatever the input that you have provided, whether it is correct or not. Yes, everything that you have provided is a number. So thank you for it. Now, if I run this again, and this time I have added couple of text over here. And now you can see it is giving me as a invalid mobile number. Okay. So this is how a 2 lines code is actually creating a very good application. Okay. Very good example where you can use it, and there is lots of application of this particular function. Okay. Now, similarly, if I will go ahead and there is a function called as a is alpha. What is alpha? So is alpha is basically checking whether whatever you are entering, it should be an alphabet. Okay. It should not contain a number. It should not contain a special character. Okay. So is alpha is basically a alphabets. Okay. Can you give me an example where you can use is alpha? Gender, name. Okay. Name selection in forms. Okay. So whatever, or city. So whatever the things that you can use, which is only the alphabets. So there it can be used. For example, someone's name cannot be a mathematical character, right? Other until unless you are Elon Musk's son. Okay. So here we have x is equal to ABC. And then I will check, is alpha? Yes. Everything over here is an alphabet. Then here we have ABC 1, 2. So if I check for Y, it will return as a false value. Okay. Now, the next one is L num. Okay. So it will check whether whatever you are entering, it should be an alphabet or digits. And it should not contain any special character. Okay. So this is LNUM allows you to check for alphabet and the digits, but it will return false if you are using any special character. Where it can be used? For example, your PAN number. Okay, so PAN number is a number which is containing the alphabets as well as the number. your passport ID, passport number. That is also a combination of number and the alphabets. So there are so many places, your license plate, vehicle license plate number. So that is a pure combination of alphabet and number. Okay. So this is where we can use is LNUM. So for example, here I have a Z is equal to ABC, and I will check it will return true. If I write, let's say 1, 2, 4 also, okay, then it will return true. But if I'm writing over here, Z1 is equal to ABCD and then some special character, then it will, if you check, then it will be a false. Okay. So is LNUM is basically checking that what is the value that you have. Sorry, it is checking whether the string contains alphabet or the forms. Now, here someone can say, okay, email ID. Now, email ID does contain @ symbol and a dot as well. Okay, so you cannot check whether it is a valid email ID or not with this one. Okay, now, but you can do one thing that you can check whether the @ is present or not. Now, let me show you some more examples of it. Not the more example, but some more function. Now, another thing that we have, yeah, okay, slicing, lower, okay, capitalize, title, swap case, upper, is this it we have done? Yeah, this one, okay. So is LNUM we have checked, okay. For example, this one, you can see, John, let me just restart kernel and clear all the output cells. Okay. So in this case, if you can see, when all the characters are in the form of an alphabet or number, then it will return true. Otherwise, it will return false. So John 1, 2, 3, this is my text. And if I run this, then you can see that it is giving me a true value. If I check for this one, then it will return false. Okay, why? Because @ is a special character. Dot is a special character. So that is why. Okay. Now, coming to the next function that's called as a starts with. So you can actually check whether a number is starts with a particular element or not. Okay. For example, if here you have to pass the element, your string, then your starts with, and then you have to pass the element. What it does is, whatever the element that you are passing over here, it will return true if your string is starting with this character. Otherwise, it will return false. So for example, if my text is a John Wick, okay, then I'm checking for small g. Text dot start with a small g. So it will return false. Why? Because this is a small j, this is a capital J. Both are not same in Python. Okay, you have to check for the capital J, and you can see it is giving me as a true value. Okay. Now, can I check for a mobile number? Yes. So for example, the country code is +1. So I wanted to check for this. Then if I run this, okay. So in this case, you can see that mobile is equal to this, and I'm writing the starts with. So I did not run this line. Let me run it. Now you can see it is returning me a true value. Okay. Now here, a very small code I have created. I have a couple of mobile numbers over here. Okay. Some with is +1, that is the USA standard code, and +91, this is a country code for India. And I have couple of mobile numbers over here for some other countries as well. +12, +13, +91. Okay, and so on. So in this list, and it is containing a global data of the mobile number, I want to separate the mobile numbers of the India and the USA. Okay, so I have written a very small code over here. What I have done, I have created two lists. One is the US mobile, other one is the IND mobile, Indian mobile. Then I'm simply running on this particular list, iterating using a for loop. Okay, so I will take the first mobile number. And then here I have written a very simple if condition. If whatever the mobile number that it is taking, if it starts with +1, then I'm simply appending it into my US mobile list. So US mobile dot append I. Otherwise, I'm checking if it is a start with +91, then I'm appending it in the Indian mobile number. Otherwise, if both of the conditions are false, then I'm not doing anything. I just want to separate these two. So if I run this simple code, then you can see that I'm able to segregate the US mobile number and the Indian mobile number, but there is a flaw. What is the flaw? The flaw is it picks up the 2, 3 as well. Why? Because I'm just checking for the start. Okay. So this condition is satisfied. It is not checking after +1. Okay. So if you want something like this, so after +1, there is a space. So you want something which is containing +1 and a space and then a particular mobile number. So you have to add a space over here. Okay. Now if I run this again and I print it, so now you can see I'm only getting the number which is starting with a +1 and then a space. Okay. Similarly, you can check for the ints width. Ints width is basically the character that we are using. And here, whatever the element you will pass, it will check whether that particular element is at the last of the string or not. So here, if I have a text Batman the Dark Knight, okay, if I run this and I'm checking for small t, so yeah, there is a small t, and I'm checking for capital T, so yeah, this will be a false value. Okay. Now, another code that I have written. So here I have couple of verb. Okay, so I have giving, group, wiser, working, started, cleaner, terminated, putting, skipped, seeker. I want to segregate all the words which is ending with the ing. Okay, so I just have created a list. Then I simply put it I dot ins with ing. Okay, and then ing list dot append I. And now let me just run this first. So now you can see there are 3 such words which is ending with the word ing. Okay, giving, working, and putting. Okay, so there are so many applications other than this, but this is how the ends with work. Whatever the element you will pass, if it contains, then it will return true. If it present in your string. Okay, now coming to the next one. The next one that we have, this is called as a strip. Strip is a very important function in a Python, and it has so many applications. So what is a strip? So a strip is the function which is removing the characters from the start and the end of the string. So there will be so many occasions when we are putting a lot of extra characters. Sometimes you are writing your name in a form or in a document by putting an extra space. So space and then John and then a space and then John, David. And after David, some people put a space again. Okay. So strip function basically removes those extra characters, and that could be any character. For example, here I have a text where I have written some $sign, then I have written Python and then some more $signs over here. Okay. So when I'm writing text dot strip dollar, then it will basically strip whatever is the left hand side, all the $sign at the left, all the $sign at the end. Okay. And remember, it will always do from the start and the end. So what will happen if there is a $sign in a between? If I run this, then what will happen? So it will be stay there. Okay. Because strip only works at the beginning and at the end. It will not work in the middle of the text. So how many occurrence it will find from the start and the number of occurrence it will find at the end, that many numbers of the character will be stripped. If something is there in between, then that is not going to be removed. Okay. Now, so similar thing I have tested over here. Now, for example, if I have a text that this is a good food and it is written in a bracket. Okay. So it is written in a bracket. And at one place we have a open bracket and at one place we have a close bracket. I want to strip both of them. Okay. So if you just write it a single bracket, then it will only remove this bracket. Okay. The open bracket. I want to remove the close bracket. So you have to use the strip again. So text.strip, and then here I'm removing the open bracket. Then whatever is the result, I'm stripping it again with the close bracket. So in a one single line, I can actually strip both the brackets. Okay. Whether you can use strip.strip or you can do one by one. For example, here this is a text. Okay. And I stripped it only once, the open bracket, and I store the result in text2. So you can see the open bracket is gone, but the closed bracket is still there. Then you can just strip this text again and it will give you the result. Okay. Now, here, this is what the example I was talking about. In this case, if you can see that I have put it some extra spaces over here. Okay, at the beginning and at the end. And it's a very common mistake that the person actually does. Okay, you are putting a space and there is no chance that you will be able to realize that you have put in an extra space over there. So this is something which programmers always use to strip the sentence, strip the spaces. Okay, for example, this is my text and here I'm just stripping. Okay, so I have to put a space over here, sorry. And now you can see that this is my text.strip, and now you can see this is a beautiful day. The spaces from the end and from the start is removed. I have put a space over here. Remember, it is a space. Okay, it is not a single code, or sorry, only the pair of the codes. So if you just put a pair of the code, it will strip nothing and you will get the spaces. You want to strip the space, then you have to put a space over here and then you have to strip it. Okay, so text.strip. Now, the next one is called as a ls strip. So ls strip, not ls strip, sorry, L strip. So this is a strip which is removing the text from both the ends. Okay. Then L strip is something which will remove the text only from the left hand side of the string and it will not remove anything from the right hand side. Okay. So if I run this, now I have a text which is containing this hash symbol both sides. Now I'm going to use L strip with the hash. Okay. So you can see at the left hand side, all the hash are gone. And on the right hand side, we have all the hash. If I just use the strip instead of L strip, then it will remove everything. Okay, but I just wanted to strip from the left. So for example, name Mr. John David. Someone enters their name in a form or in a document, suppose Mr. John David. And I don't want any salutation in the name. Okay, I want to remove it. So I will just simply use the L strip. Okay, so here I will remove it. Let me just run this. And now you can see it is returning me the name only. John David, and it removed the salutation. Okay. Now, what is the R strip? So R strip is basically, it is going to return the value by stripping whatever the characters you have at the right hand side. So R strip will strip from right. So this is my text. And you can see that I'm stripping it and it will strip from the right hand side only. Okay. Now, the next one is, for example, someone has given a review. You are working on a text data, you want to create some model or train some AI model. Okay. But after the review, they have put it some emoticons or some extra symbols. So the place was so good. And then there is a smiley. Now this smiley does not have, I don't need it. I want to strip it. Okay, so this is my review and this place so good. But this is not a proper text. What I will do, I will simply use a right strip and I will remove it. So the place was good. Okay. Then there is another review. The food was horrible. And then there is a XOXO. Okay. Then I will just use a right strip and it will do the job. Okay. Now, another function that we have, and it is a very important function, one of the most widely used and one of the most important function that is called as a dot split. And this function is very different from any other functions that we learned today. Okay, what this split function actually does? Let's try to understand that. So the parameter that you are passing into the split, based on that, split function will split the string and store each splitted element into a list. Okay. So it will actually break down your string based on whatever you are passing. And then it will store everything inside a list. For example, here I have a text. Sir Isaac Newton discovers the laws of motion. He also develops the calculus and the gravitational laws. This is my text. I will run this. Then I will print it. Now, here what I'm doing is I'm using text.split and I'm not passing any parameter right now. You can split it based on some parameters. And here I'm not passing any parameter, I'm calling the split function. If I run this, then a text list is created. And if I run this again, then you can see it actually split it on space. By default, it will split on space. So every word that you have in your text is splitted based on the space. Means every word becomes a element of the list. So Sir becomes first element, Isaac becomes second, then Newton discovers and everything. Okay. So everything basically becomes a what? A element into a list using a split. Now, if I have to, wait a second, let me show you one more thing about the split. It is not there. Okay. Now, let's suppose I want to split it based on so there is two sentences. Sir Isaac Newton, and then he also developed. So this is my first sentence. This is my second sentence. How I am identifying that these two are the sentences? Based on a full stop. So instead of word, what I want the sentences to be an element. Okay, how many sentences I have? So all you need to do, you need to pass the parameter on which you want to split. So if you split the text based on a dot or a full stop, then you will actually get the what? You will get the sentences that you have in your list. So this is the first sentence. Sir Isaac Newton discovers the laws of motion. Then it is splitted on dot. Then a space, because after the dot there is a space. And then he also developed the gravitational laws. So up to the laws and then a dot. And then after that there is a empty. Because after the dot there is nothing that I have. Okay, so at dot there is a split. Okay, so you can see that. And if you want to like split it on any other value, like for example, you want to split it on the word the. Okay, and if you run it, now you can see Sir Isaac Newton discovers, and then the will gone, whatever you will split, that particular element will be gone from the text. And then and then laws of motion he also develops, and then and then calculus and gravitational laws. So calculus and the gravitational laws. Let's see this on a bigger sentence. So here I have a big text from the Google history on the Wikipedia. So I will run it. And if you check the type and the length, so there are total 3200 characters that I have. Okay. Now if I just split it over here and I can just show you the total text. So now you can see everything, every single word that I have in my text becomes the element. Now I want to get the sentences. What I will do, I will just simply split it on the full stops. Okay, now you are getting the sentences. So this is the first sentence. This is a second sentence. Okay, then this is the third sentence. So a split function is one of the very useful function that we have in Python. Okay, there is one more. Let's quickly see that, and then we will go with the assignment. So str.replace. Suppose you want to replace something. Okay, so a replace function is used to replace some set of character into your string. So text.replace, then suppose there is a text called good morning. So instead of morning, I want it to be an evening. So you have to pass your old text, whatever you want to replace from the string. And then you have to pass the another pair, another value, the text by which you want to replace it. Okay. So I want to replace this good morning with the good evening. Okay. So morning is replaced with the evening. Okay. So if this is my text and I want to change this O with a dollar symbol. So here I have an O and I want to change it with a dollar sign. So you can see it changed. So this is good morning, having a dollar sign. Okay. So this particular sheet is also there on my GitHub. You guys can get it from there. Okay. Now, I have already shared one assignment with you, with your program manager. Maybe you guys already got that, or if not, then she will send it today. Okay. And today is 10th of March. You guys have to submit it uh, before 15th of March. So you will have a whole week for it. Okay, let's do that up to 18. Okay, why? Because there is a Holi, so you guys may be occupied, those guys who are from the north. Okay, so you guys will have 1 week. I request you to do not use the chat GPT to solve that particular problem. Okay, just try to solve it by your own. There are some very small coding problems that I have given. Most of the problems are already discussed in the class. Try to write it by your own. Create a Jupyter notebook, write the question, copy paste the question, and then just solve the question one by one in the same Jupyter notebook. Solve all the 15 questions that is given over there. Okay, based on that particular assignment, your certificates will be issued. Okay, and then you have to update that particular notebook on the GitHub and you have to send me the GitHub link. I will evaluate your GitHub notebooks. Okay. Okay, guys. So that's it for today's session, and that's all for the very beginner and the basic level Python course. Okay, that we have completed around 16 hours of the lecture. I was one class short, that's why I have taken this particular class. The course was actually 15 hours was completed the last Friday, but I needed one session for this. Okay, so I hope you guys have learned a couple of things and my only request is whatever you have learned, whatever we had discussed, just try to revise it. Python is not difficult. It is just requires only one thing, that is practice. Okay. Only thing, that is practice. You have to do some practice and everything will be very simple. Okay. So keep practicing, keep learning, keep revising the stuff. And if you face any question, any difficulties, or having any issue with any concept, you can reach out to me or you can reach out to your program manager. If the issues are big, if there are some more items, I can arrange a doubt clearing session as well for you guys. Okay. Sir, we are supposed to take input from the user, or shall we include directly in the program? Just take the input from the user. Make it generalized, Nikhil. Okay. Okay. So yeah, that's it from my side. I would require a quick feedback in the chat box. And if you can give me that, how was the whole session? You liked it, not liked it, your overall feedback. Okay, I will wait 5 minutes for this. Okay, just give me the feedback, or if you have any question, you can ask me. Some people are asking some question. Just please give me the feedback. That will be help us to improve my individual learning thing, and how I am delivering the session. It will help me to improve myself, and I will get the idea that how to cater, or how you guys liked it or not. Okay. Sir, if you mind, please, you will send the recording. I do not have that. I will ask the program manager, Ashruta, to, with the assignment, she will share you the recorded session links as well. Okay. Yeah, program manager will share it. Okay. And guys, please give me the feedback from the management perspective. That is very much important. So please, one word, two word, anything. Good, bad, you liked it, not liked it, problems, issues. I'm not expecting a good words. Bad word will be also fine. बस गाली मत देना. Thank you. Okay, thank you, Madhu. Mm, I learned something new. Thank you so much. Good and interesting day. Good, sir. Mika Miller, thank you for taking us and learn the basics, and explaining very well. Jupyter is not working for me. Okay, so write it on the Google Colab, Bhumita. Okay.
Right.
Sorry, come again.
I tried to make it.
Bhumita, you are not audible properly. You can write it in Google Colab. That's not an issue. You can practice. You can use Google Colab as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
First,
Bhumita, just write it in the chat box. I'm not able to hear you properly. In which groups we get the assignment link? Rudrapu, I think you guys will get it on maybe on the email. I'm not sure. Program manager will share it with you. Okay. Feedback link. I do not have any feedback link, Madhu, this time, but I will ask the program manager to share the feedback link with you guys so that you guys can fill it up. Okay. Okay, guys. So thank you. Thank you so much, everyone. And you guys are phenomenal. I wish you all the best for your future. Keep practicing, happy learning, keep learning the new stuff, and just do good things in your life. Okay. Sir, it is my laptop. Can't access the Jupyter, sir. What can I do now? Okay, just use the Google Colab. Let me share my screen now. So what you can do is, if your Jupyter is not working, just go for Google Colab. Okay. So Google Colab is a Jupyter notebook interface that is given by the Jupyter, what we call, that is created by the Google itself, and no need to install anything, nothing, just sign in with your Gmail account. It's completely free. No charges, you need not to pay anything. And yeah, here it is a Google thing for you. And yes, it is also AI powered. Okay, so it can help you write the code. For example, if you are just writing hash print the star pattern of height 5. Okay, and if you just start writing it, so for I in range of 5, and then for j in range of I. Okay, print star comma n equals space, and then print this. Okay, so if you just write it and run it as usual, what you are doing, okay, in the Google Colab, you will get it. Okay. Yeah, you can write it in VS Code also. No issues. I do not have any issue. I'm just interested in the outputs. That's it. Okay. Okay, guys. So thank you. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining the session. I wish you all the very best. Let's meet in some other session if I'm taking. Okay. Thank you. Bye-bye.